morning. Today is January 12th, and this is The View with Catherine Chang. Today's topic is Taiwan and the U.S. as quasi-diplomatic relations. First, after the U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo announced lifting self-imposed restrictions on U.S.-Taiwan exchanges, I think Taiwan and the U.S. have entered this so-called quasi-diplomatic relations. In other words, well, although the two countries do not have formal diplomatic ties, their diplomatic activities are already the same as those countries that have official diplomatic relations with the U.S., including Taiwan President, Vice President, and Premier will be able to visit Washington and enter the White House. And the originally restricted flag-raising ceremony can also be conducted. At this crucial moment, U.S. President-elect Joe Biden nominated the incoming CIA director. Biden announced William Burns will be the CIA director. As to Burns, he once visited Taiwan and met with President Tsai. Here are some points. A, the incoming CIA director, William Burns. We know that, well, he served as Deputy Secretary of State during the Obama administrations, and he came to Taiwan as a special envoy of the U.S. to congratulate President Tsai when she won the presidential elections in 2016. B, what was mentioned is that U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo conducted a series of pro-Taiwan actions. First, on December 27th last year, the U.S. signed the Taiwan Assurance Act of 2020. On January 7th, the Assistant Secretary Cooper and Taiwan held a political and military dialogue. On the same date, the U.S. State Department announced that Kana, the U.S. representative to the UN, will visit Taiwan. And on January 9th, Pompeo announced lifting the restrictions on U.S.-Taiwan relations. And why was there a series of pro-Taiwan actions just 10 days before Trump stepped down? Well, some people said that Trump tried to embarrass China, while other experts think that, well, it might be another kind of trick to make things difficult for the successor, President Biden. However, I think that the U.S. being friendly to Taiwan is something that should have been done a long time ago. Trump just did what he thinks is right. C, the responses from both sides of the straits are quite different. Compared with Beijing's irritability, President Tsai seems to be very calm. And she said, don't give up under pressure and don't rush things once you get the support. And we know that the U.S. ambassador to the UN, Kana, will visit President Tsai tomorrow and have lunch together. Here are the top stories. Today, we have two confirmed cases, and they are domestic cases. They are a doctor and his girlfriend, and both work in a public hospital in Taoyuan area. It seems it is the first time for Taiwan to have a doctor being infected. The CCC is kind of very serious about it, thinking about it. Luckily, things are under control, and it's not to the level to shut down. First, I want to talk about the U.S. Ambassador Kana visit to Taiwan. President Tsai will meet Kana on Thursday. According to Minister of Foreign Affairs, the.view, we know that the U.S. ambassador to the UN, Kana, will meet with President Tsai around 11 a.m. on January 14th, and she will hold a press conference with Minister of Foreign Affairs the.view in the afternoon. Also, after Pompeo announced lift restrictions on U.S.-Taiwan exchanges, there are a series of contacts between the U.S. and Taiwan. First, about this issue, Taiwan representative to the U.S. meets with Assistant Secretary of State today. U.S. Assistant Secretary of State Cooper met with Taiwan Representative Xiao Kim at Washington, D.C. at around 11:30 a.m. And this is the second meeting between the two since Xiao Kim took office last July. As also, I want to talk about U.S. hosts Taiwan in Netherlands for the first time visit. We know that U.S. Ambassador to the Netherlands, Pete Horeska, tweeted that. He said, "Miss some history today. Welcome Taiwan Representative Chen to our embassy. Glad that our State Department colleagues around the world will now be able to host our friends from the vibrant democracy on our embassy grounds." Well, on the other hand, Joe Biden nominates William Burns as CIA director. We know that William Burns has met with President Tsai in 2016 when President Tsai first won the presidential election. According to CNN, William Burns is a veteran American diplomat who has served from the era of Reagan to the Obama administrations. He also visited Taiwan and met with President Tsai on January 18th in 2016 after President Tsai won the presidential elections. We're talking about the riot in Capitol Hill. According to Politico, we know that Trump declared state of emergency in D.C. ahead of inauguration. And he said that today, President Donald Trump ordered federal assistance to supplement the district's response efforts due to the emergency conditions resulting from the 59th presidential inaugurations from January 11th to January 14, 24th in 2021. Additionally, according to Reuters, AT&T suspends donations to lawmakers who oppose Biden's certifications. And it said that AT&T will suspend contributions to members of Congress who vote for object to the certification of electoral college votes last week. In the end, this is the 200th episode of The View with Catherine Chang. Thank you very much for joining us, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye. Please stay tuned.